Friends, hello! In this video, I want to tell you about my drip irrigation system, how I made it, how it works, and all the nuances so you can make one for yourself and forget about carrying buckets and watering cans to water your plants. Because without proper watering, plants will not grow well. Mine, as you can see, are growing very well. The peppers have set and are starting to grow upwards because I recently fertilized the peppers, tomatoes, and cucumbers. Everything is growing well. All these videos are on my channel. But besides fertilizing, proper watering is important. And now I will explain in more detail why drip irrigation is more effective and more convenient than regular watering with a watering can. First, we can set and dose the watering efficiently and precisely. For example, watering twice a day, in the morning as I do, and once more in the evening. In the next part of the video, I will show you how I programmed my timer. And this drip irrigation, as you can see, drips in one spot and moistens the soil very deeply, in a very efficient and effective manner. Unlike when we water with a watering can, where we water from above, it takes a long time to soak into the soil. But all this soil gets compacted, becomes very dense, then dries out quickly, cracks, and doesn't allow moisture to penetrate properly. And the air, the roots don't breathe well, so the plants grow poorly, and we spend a lot of effort on this. With drip irrigation, regarding drip irrigation, emitters I use. This is a plastic pipe, it has these additional emitters, they are on both sides of the pipe. So it doesn't matter how you position it, whether like this or like that, the emitters will still drip. These emitters release 2 liters per hour. And it doesn't matter, regardless of whether your water comes from a barrel, flows on its own, or is under pressure from the water supply or not. Still 2 liters per hour. An end cap of this type is installed at the end. What do we have next? All of this goes and connects to the tap. The tap is absolutely necessary because we grow different plants in the greenhouse. Also, if you use such drip irrigation outside, it might rain. And when it rains, we simply close the tap and don't water our plants. Then, when the soil starts to dry out, we open the tap again and set it up, and we cut it into the main line. My main line is made of a pipe with a diameter of 32 millimeters. You can use approximately 25, but no less. Because the more water in the mainline water pipe, the more hoses with emitters you can attach to it, and they will manage it effectively. At the end, I have end caps on one side, and I also have cucumbers growing there. There is also a tap and an end cap. Here I have a T connected with a quick release. I bring water here through a flexible hose. Next, I will explain what this is for. And taps are also needed to regulate the watering if you are growing cucumbers, tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers, such as eggplants, peppers, and cucumbers need daily watering, and even better, twice a day, with at least 2 liters of water. Tomatoes, while they are growing and haven't yet gained their color or ripened, I water them every day, and they grow well. But when the tomatoes start to reach technical maturity, they will begin to ripen, and this will start with the first cluster. Then I will close the tap, and I will water the tomatoes once every 5 days, and I will close the tap, they don't get watered for 5 days, open the tap, and for 1 day they get watered just like the cucumbers, eggplants, and peppers. Because excessive watering can cause most varieties of tomatoes to crack. Now I will demonstrate how everything is connected. Here, the hose goes to the barrel. And I connected it in such a way that when winter comes, it will be easier for me to drain the water. Here, I will now separate the quick release mechanism. I will then proceed with the task of thoroughly draining all the water from the hose and the main line, ensuring that nothing will freeze or thaw, because if I had actually taken this main line and basically interred it in the ground, the water would still be in the ground anyway, essentially. In winter it would freeze, and the pipe could burst. I don't need that. How does it fit here? Here I also have a slightly larger storage area. The pipe just comes in here and it connects to this kind of timer. It has 2 positions in total. You can water one part of the beds and the other part of the bed simultaneously if one mainline system can't handle it. I haven't connected one yet and I haven't set up the timer here. This is just a regular Chinese timer. You can use any one that you prefer and that is available and accessible to you. Now, here is the setup. This dot demonstrates how much water it is actually dispensing. My beds are watered for approximately 60 minutes, and here it is set to about how many hours the timer generally turns on. Mine turns on every 12 hours. I set it up so that it turns on at 10 a.m., waters for 1 hour, and then turns on again at 10 p.m., and so it goes every day. I just make sure that my barrel is always completely and simply full of water, making absolutely certain it holds 1 ton, which is exactly 1,000 liters of water. And for my small greenhouse, a maximum of 80 liters is used per day based on my settings. Therefore, the barrel can be filled once every 10 days. But I fill it more often so that the water warms up during the day, and I water my beds with warm water because this is also very important for the plants. Warm water is absorbed more quickly, does not harm the root system, does not stress the plants, and they grow quickly and without problems. I can definitely tell you that even if you don't use any fertilizers but set up proper irrigation, your harvest will be really good and the plants will grow well. Of course, everything turns out much better with fertilizers, so be sure to subscribe to my channel and don't miss the release of new videos. And I'll show you a bit of how everything is set up. I raised the barrel to a height of approximately 2 meters to create enough water pressure to ensure adequate water supply, because I need to water not only the beds, but also the trees and various other plants in the garden using this specific faucet. I have a main line and I water all the trees. The pressure is sufficient. All of this is located in a room like this. I would say it like this. Everything is covered with metal profile. It's not completely covered at the bottom to allow for ventilation. I also have ventilation at the top. Everything is placed on beams. The posts are made of metal with a thickness of 3 mm. The profile is 40x40. The 50x50 angle is necessarily braced. These are special braces to support such a large weight. Also, everything, as you can see, is secured with bolts on top. And here we also have a 50x50 angle bracket. The water comes from the ground. It is supplied from a well. Here is a faucet. I simply open it, the water gets pumped, I close it, the water stops pumping and goes into the barrel. From the barrel, the water then flows here where there is a faucet and a filter is necessarily installed. Mine is a mesh, self-cleaning one. It is installed in the following way. Water flows in, enters the filter, gets filtered from large particles, and the filtered water then goes to my timer. The timer also has a filter. This way both the drippers and the timer will last much longer. When the water flows very poorly and slowly, we open this valve, the water drains out, clears the blockage, and then we close it again. If something breaks and we need to replace it, there is always a faucet. They turned off the tap, we remove the filters, and we can disassemble and dismantle or service all of this and other components as needed. This kind of safety is essential. I have extremely strong winds in my garden, and the doors can actually open. Now I will actually show you what is on the other side. Here is the water that is being pumped. It goes upwards. It makes sense for it to collect at the top, so there won't be any strain on the pump. There, as you can see, I have a small hole on one side and another hole on the same side. Here, I have a pipe connected at the bottom, through which the water flows by itself, and all of this warm water then flows into the beds. And the pressure is sufficient. That's basically everything about my drip irrigation. It's all easy and simple. And now I only go to my greenhouse to carefully tend to the plants, fertilize if needed, and harvest the crops. The crops are setting. Alright, just last night I definitely assembled it. And as you can, without a doubt, see, the new cucumbers have, of course, grown overnight. All the time I used to spend frequently and consistently watering the greenhouse, watering my beds, and watering my garden, I now spend on other tasks. Because gardeners have work to do. If you found the information in this video useful, be sure to give it a like. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new videos. Have a great day and see you in the new videos.